ever happen, because nothing bad ever did. So she willed herself toward the light alongside him. And that was when she began to see shapes. They were fuzzy and formless at first, but as she drifted closer, the pinpoint of light grew larger and brighter, and she saw the translucent outline of her grandma Pat, only not the way she'd looked when she was suffering in bed those last days of her life. Backlit like a rock star, Grandma Pat was now young and vibrant. "Uncle Andy!" Skylar screamed. "No," Tessa said. "It's my Grandma Pat." Somehow, they were seeing different deceased relatives. How was that possible? "Can you hear them?" Skylar asked. "Hear who?" "They're saying—" There was a long pause, and Tessa suddenly sensed something was terribly wrong. "Tessa, they're saying, you have to go back." "What do you mean, back? Back where?" There was now painful regret in Skylar's voice. "They say it has to be this way, that it's not your time yet." And then something took hold of Tessa, a force. It started pulling her away from Skylar. "Skylar, wait!" she cried. "I'm sorry, Tess. I love you." Everything began receding in a fast-moving blur. Tessa screamed and willed herself to stay. But the white light grew smaller and dimmer, like a dying star in a distant galaxy. Flickering, flickering, gone. 211 days before. Tessa could sense the snow even before she opened her eyes. It was an intense, luminous brightness penetrating her eyelids, urging her to consciousness. When she finally woke, the first thing she saw was light gleaming off her wall of inspiration. It was a collage of words and photos on her ceiling that served only one purpose: to make Tessa feel better about her life. There were quotes: "Preserve your bubble," mundane reminders: "Get off the internet," arty black and white photos: Robert Frank, Brassai's rain-soaked streets of Paris, and even a few sketches that Tessa had drawn before she discovered her real talent lay in photography. Most 17-year-olds would be rejoicing at the sight of all that fluffy whiteness outside. It meant school was canceled. But Tessa wasn't most 17-year-olds. For her, school was the only escape from the strangers she lived with. Years earlier, one after the other, Tessa's real parents had disappeared without a trace. What followed was a revolving door of foster homes. Some were better than others, but most were terrifying. As for Mel and Vicky, they were the most recent childless couple who'd taken her in. Now past the 1-year mark, they were undoubtedly the best of the bunch. But even though they'd recently signed her adoption papers, Tessa still couldn't fully embrace them. That would require trust, something that didn't come easily to her. Tessa slipped some clothes on and grabbed her vintage Minolta camera, the one that was never more than an arm's length away from her. She was halfway down the stairs when she smelled a sweet aroma drifting from the kitchen. That meant Vicky had worked the night shift and was making herself breakfast. Tessa was determined to pass the kitchen silently so as to not be seen or heard, but evidently Vicky had bionic ears. "I made pancakes," Vicky called out. Tessa ignored her and kept moving down the hallway. She reached into the foyer closet and grabbed her puffer jacket. Vicky appeared at the entrance to the kitchen, still dressed in her casino dealer's uniform, her shiny maroon vest buttoned snugly around her torso. "You going somewhere?" she asked. "Out to shoot some photos," Tessa said, slipping her arms into the sleeves of her jacket. "Now? They haven't even cleared the streets yet." Tessa opened the front door. "I don't want to lose the morning light." "When you get back, maybe..."